How much you doing?
Hi everybody, it's Chris here from the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel. Just to let you know, as always, this podcast is now part of the 90-Minute Football Network and proudly sponsored by www.pt-4-u.co.uk. Enjoy the episode. Hi everybody, welcome back to the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel and the Always Smiling Faces podcast. For those that are watching on YouTube, you can see that Roger's here tonight. Or Mark's grew hair and lost weight. I think it's Roger, to be fair.
You didn't know what to say there, did you?
I didn't know what to say, no.
I think it's Roger.
Not too much weight.
And to the right of me, Bestie's had a shave, lost some weight. Thomas is here as well from War Flags. How are you doing, Thomas?
I'm very good, mate. Thank you. Thanks for having us back.
Thanks for joining us, mate. It's always a pleasure to have you on, mate, because you're very insightful.
Thank you.
Well,
Not many people
sometimes.
say that.
Hold on. How come, like, my introduction's like,
You're a skinny Mark.
skinny Mark, and then he gets, like, what? Like, you know what I mean?
He's got to be kind, otherwise it won't come on his
That's
reserve
true.
again.
I know
you'll
you'll
not
come-
get your flags back.
Exactly, yeah.
I know you'll come back, no matter what I say to you.
All right.
So hi everybody. Decker loves straight away for the shirt that you're wearing.
You want to say what?
There's love straight away in
Oh,
the
love
comments
for the
shirt.
shirt. Oh, yes. Yeah. Thank you very much. I absolutely love it. I really do.
On a scale of 1 to 10,
Oh, yeah.
how would you rate it?
Just in terms
Overall, including fabric, design.
Sensuality.
I'd say 9. A 9.
9 out of 10?
Yeah, 9, yeah. It had us at the embroidered badge, to be quite honest with you. I'm happy with the height of it, so my nipple's still alive. So that's something else that's quite important. But the second that I dropped on the email, I was at work at the time just across the road, and I was like, oh, I'll have to go and get it. But the collar was the only thing I said to you lads before we started. The collar was a bit, I wasn't sure if I was totally with the collar, but now I am. So I wish it was restricted, to be honest with you.
Denim away shirt, that's got that similar sort of collar on, if I remember right. It's got like a striped collar on it as well. There's a few of them over the years.
Yeah. But it's the no sponsors, obviously, the big and the embroidery badge does help as well.
So there's been loads of comments. We'll just talk about that shirt for a little bit. There's been loads on social media. People saying that should be our home shirt.
Yeah. Oh no, 100%. I mean,
would there still be a giant 4 if there was a funny 8 thing on it? There would be, wouldn't there?
Well, I don't know. It's no,
it wouldn't be as it's got the white.
Oh, it's the white.
Yeah, it's that
Sorry,
one.
mate.
Sorry. I thought it might have a button on it. It doesn't have a button because I'd like to have it shut personally, but there is no button. But live with it, like. I mean, but, yeah.
What's your thoughts on it, Thomas?
Lovely. Yeah, should be a home kit. It's much better than the massive number 4 on the front. Like, I think it's stunning.
Yeah.
Really nice.
I do love it. Like Roger.
I don't want to objectify it in such a way, but it's a thing of beauty. I've ordered myself one, so.
Oh, thanks, Roger.
Okay. It's fair.
Right, let's get straight down to business. So, Eddie Howe's first game in charge, yet to make it in the Newcastle United dugout. Because in a true typical Newcastle United form, he managed to go and get COVID because of fans standing outside the training ground. That's not why. Could be. It could
costing
be.
him at the ground. That was
could be. So straight to you, Roger, mate. Did you feel as if that put a little bit of a dampener on the occasion?
Yeah, I think it did. Just because I think there was so much expectation around obviously what he would do with the team, which was evident, which obviously we'll go into. But I think just seeing him there on the touchline would have given that extra 10%, I think. And yeah, like the build up was all about really getting him there and then it kind of, but it didn't quell my enjoyment of the game. I think there was still that feeling of like newness and freshness about the team.
Were you a little bit worried that you're going to wake up on Saturday morning that some players were going to have COVID as well?
I did have a fear. Like, I probably would have wished that John Joe Shelby did, but then he had an absolute blinder. So, You know,
careful. I love John.
He did have a blame.
No, I did. I know.
And
that.
I hate him, but like, you know,
everyone seems to hate him. Like,
Ah,
I'm not the one
yeah.
that doesn't.
I'm with you, Dave.
Actually, you like him as well, don't you?
no, we hate. Like, I hate him for the right reasons, if that's possible.
Okay.
I like because I can see that he's got everything.
Yeah.
Apart from consistency and work rate, and I know you don't always get that with those type of players, but it's embedded in frustration. Is my dislike for him. And like, last week, at the weekend, I was just like blown away.
I'm sure we'll have lots of questions in regards to some of the players that have shocked us as a fan base.
Yeah.
Decker, the starting lineup, shocked by any of those? So the replacements, Jacob Murphy came in, Fabian Schär was back in, and was that it?
Well, Willock started, obviously.
Willock started, yeah. Sorry.
So I was surprised to see Hayden not in the team, if I'm honest. And obviously, I think that the biggest one, and I'm not just saying it because of what happened, but obviously Dubravka. You know, I did think he would be back in. I know, to be fair, Eddie Howe was quite open in his press comments in regards to he knew he had a big decision to make on that one, and obviously Dubravka had been away and all the rest of it. And I will be very honest. When I seen the lineup, I was really unsure of how it would play. I was like, is it going to be 3 at the back, 5 at the back? Like, what's it going to be like? But going back to the first question you said about him not being there, I was devastated. Like when it was just, you know, when you just feel like you're cursed as a club. Like, you know, you're just trying to get on the sort of rhythm of something positive, and then bang, you know what I mean? The day before as well, man. You know what I mean? And obviously you lads, of course, which I know we're going to like, it must have been awful with the buy you had planned and that nobody was there, and it must have been awful. But yeah, the team, I mean, I wasn't, I was really happy to see Shea back in there, because I've been saying for weeks that we need someone that can physically play football at the back, which was nice. But it didn't dampen, it really did before kickoff, but I will be fair, when I got there, heard the atmosphere, got to me seat, like, do you know what I mean? The place was rocking, like, so it didn't spoil that, but leading up to the game, I must admit, it did spoil it a little bit that he wasn't going to be there.
Yeah. Thomas, let's go to your preparation from a War Flags point of view. So as soon as Eddie Howe was announced as Newcastle United manager, is that when you think, right, this is for him?
Yeah, pretty much. We knew we had to do something for him. There was a lot of comments on social media that was saying, like, oh, you know, let's do something for Eddie Howe, and we were mulling it over as to what we were going to do. It was always going to be something to do with him. So it was just a case of what, because as ever with any display, we sort of there's loads of crap ideas and then some really, really good ones, and then it all just comes together. And so that was the plan up until the Friday night before the game on Saturday. We stuck with Eddie Howe's Black and White Army. That was always going to be there. There's another part of it that was going to be in it that was sort of more linked to Eddie Howe, but it didn't quite feel as right doing it when he wasn't there. So we've kept that back.
Nice.
And hopefully have it for his first game, which should be Norwich.
Norwich should be, yeah.
Next Tuesday. So potentially do something there. So we just had to mix it up a little bit on the Friday night, it's lucky we've purchased a machine, like a printing machine that does the flags for us in the ground now. So
5 years later,
that's how we did it. Like, it was so, you know, with the money that we get donated, we'll actually save more in the long run by doing that.
Is that with the vinyl things? Yeah.
Thomas, you know, when you just going back to when you were saying about you all like get together and work out, do you like, obviously I know he's come from different areas, do you all like actually physically meet up, or do you just WhatsApp on and WhatsApp together and like how your ideas about it? Right.
So there's that many messages at the time, you know, you come onto your phone after 2 hours and there's 200 messages on your phone that you need to catch up with.
Do you know who you need in your WhatsApp group? Decker. Because what Decker tends to do in a WhatsApp group, right, is not read any of those messages, then point out about 10 things that have already been said over the last 24 hours.
Terrible for us.
We've got a couple of people like that that'll pop in and just be, you know,
thought of this like 4 hours ago.
Why don't we do something for Eddie Howe? Scroll back 560.
Decker will start painting it, man.
He'll love us for calling him out, but you know, obviously Chris Herron, he comes in at the end of the day when he's got home from work, and he'll reply to every single message.
No way.
So you get loads of notifications.
You know what else you need in your group? Daryl, who sends fucking text messages at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, he's incredible.
He doesn't sleep like
His
4:30 in the morning
is admirable.
Yeah.
Daryl, just because you're getting up at that time doesn't mean that we're getting up at that time, mate. Stop messaging at 4:30 in the morning. Fuck me. Sorry, mate. I just
I think
No, it's fine.
All right. Anything else you want to get off your chest, Chris? Well, yeah, you know. Like,
Oh, wait, yeah, who else can I
What,
slag
no?
off?
There's plenty of people.
But,
So I
Right,
just want to
so
ask
just-
very
yeah.
quickly. Sorry, you know, obviously, when Howard got obviously announced,
Mhm.
and of course, you know, you would have been chatting loads about what you were going to do. Like, how long does it actually take to make the banner? Like, obviously, you decide on it. Fair enough. How long does it take then to decide on what it is, and then how long does it take to make it?
once we've decided on what it's going to be, because that can take a couple of days.
Yeah.
We get loads of ideas chucked in there. You know, the original plan that we were going with was something that we dug deep to find about Eddie Howe, and it was it was going to be very fitting if he was there. But so a couple of days, and then it's just a case of when we can arrange to get in the ground and test it all out. Like I say, this was the first time we had this machine, so part of it was done on Tuesday, I believe, Monday or Tuesday, and then we were doing the rest on Friday night. We were cutting it late, but
I seen the pizzas.
So you're there late.
yeah, who are the 14-inch?
I don't know. Actually, I wasn't there that late, and there was 7 of them stayed, like absolute troopers.
I reckon
I think the missus would have killed me had I been out.
I think it's like a shearer. I think it's like a cheesy garlic bread or something.
It looks like one of those that just gets chucked in for free. You know,
yeah.
so
I don't have
it's
this
probably
what's
that.
left.
But yeah, fair play to the ones that stayed in, mate, because that's the kind of dedication you get. You know, and it's the same ones every time, and it's just brilliant, man, because it needed to be done. We didn't really want to be doing it on match day in case there was any real issues. So the fact that they stayed in till 1:45 in the morning it's just mad, isn't it? It's absolutely.
To be fair, the concourse is like cold as at the best of times.
Oh,
yeah.
Never mind
especially
at
when
that
it
time in
gets
the
into
morning.
winter. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And then
so,
from the staff at St James's, who's obviously somebody must stay with you there.
yeah, well,
keep it open.
you've got 24-hour security in the stadium anyway. But we actually had one of the security guards was helping them on Friday night as well, which is just brilliant, man.
Play,
like you get that all the time. The staff there are absolutely class. We've got such a good relationship with them. Got a very good relationship with a lot of people in the club, which is just great, you know, because it just makes things so much easier.
Yeah, you need that, don't you, for that type of
it's
operation?
Like a trust thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They trust us. I think they've learned to trust us, which is good, because it's hard to do that when you don't know people. So you've got to build up that trust. But you know, it's one of those when they're helping out, it's class.
It's been a busy week for you as well. Sam Fender gig on Thursday as well. How did that come about?
So his management got in touch with Johnny and basically wanted, because he was obviously at the arena, they wanted some flags, which he didn't know about. So it was like a surprise for him. So,
All right, so he didn't actually know about that. All right,
so
okay.
so I was just a case of I think it was about 10 or 12 of them turned up, and
Look
the
amazing.
Sam Fender gig were at the front with the flags.
Local hero going,
brilliant, man. Like it's just getting involved with stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, where was this would never have happened. Like
It's just
like,
another
it feels
addition
like
to the
just 2
feel good
months
factor,
ago.
isn't it?
Aye,
Like on
100%,
Tyneside at the minute.
100%.
Back to the game. I'm sure we'll have more questions about war flags towards the end. Like I said, I'll leave the questions to the last 20, 15 minutes there. So Newcastle United started off on the front foot once again. It's something which we've mentioned a couple of times over the last couple of weeks with Eddie Howe, is that his team is going to attack. The other team is going to be set up to play that way. Roger, were you shocked just how well we played?
Yeah, I wasn't. I expected a big change, so I wasn't shocked in the fact that we played differently. I was shocked at how well certain players had stepped up,
Overperformed. Some was
yeah. But I think, like saying, obviously talked about Shelby briefly there, but like I wasn't shocked that Shelby had stepped up so much, but it's like your other players like Murphy looked more confident. Obviously, Joe Linton, I'm sure we'll talk about him in a bit more depth, but yeah, it was just lovely to see. And I think we're in the position now where we need to be attacking games. Like, we cannot really afford for the next 26 games left.
How many we played now? 12?
Yeah. We can't afford to be passive anymore. And that's what we've been for the best part of 2 years. And 12 games a sort of season. So I did expect we to be on the front foot, but like probably not to the extent of like we were. Almost to our own destruction, but it was it was impressive. It was impressive.
So we'll go through the goals first of all, then we'll come back, because I feel as if we need to spend a lot of time speaking about individual players in that game, because there was a handful of standout performances. So first goal, it's obviously Jamal Sales. When was the last time he scored a goal, to be fair? It was had that season where it was only defenders scoring at the start of the season.
That's right, yeah.
Only defenders scoring headers. Kieran Clark had I think he was a top goal scorer for God knows how many months at one point. But Jamal Sales, this is what we've been missing for a long time. Towers above everybody and just knocks that in. And Decker, it's something which we've been crying out for. Those balls coming into the boxes and players actually attacking them.
Well, we're like, you know, set pieces is such an important part of the game. You know, both defensively and tactically. But like, I find the Sales actually does win quite a lot in the air, but never look like scoring. He wins an awful lot of headers, but they just go over the bar and everything's, you know, fine. But it was, to be quite honest with you, I wasn't sure if I'm being honest, from where I was sitting at. I felt as if there was kind of a reaction of it's in. Oh, actually, it's not. Oh, it is in. It was a weird one for me, anyway, personally. But it also the delivery was really good, and I think what I get very annoyed with is often it's either the first man or straight in the keeper's arms. You know, and I think that's really important. You've got to, for all might have big lads, and the Cells is of course good in the air. You've got to give them something to attack. But just to briefly say, I thought in the game itself, I kind of seen every version of Newcastle United. If I'm honest, I've seen the version that I really wanted to be. I've seen the version that I never wanted to be. I've seen, you know what I mean? I just felt I've seen every version of her in that 90 minutes. And if I'm being honest, a lot of it was positive. I mean, I honestly, I come away from the game. That was a hell of a good game of football. Like a really enjoyable game of football. I was literally out of breath at the end. Like, I honestly was. It was really good.
It's a strange game, because if you've never seen that go, oh, Newcastle United scored 3 goals at home, you think, oh, we've won that. But then the same way you think, oh, Newcastle's conceded 3 goals at home, you think we've lost that. Like,
that's the negative of it all, isn't it? And my worry is it's 3 goals against Brentford at home. It does worry us. I'm not going to deny that, but the difference in performance given the time he's been there was incredible. I mean, it really was.
It just seems like once again, though, I don't want to focus on the negatives, Thomas, but it just seems like individual errors once again, doesn't it? That are putting ourselves in this situation. So straight after that Jamal Lascelles goal, what was it, 40 odd seconds or something ridiculous like that, straight down to that side of the pitch, and out of nowhere the ball just lands to Ivan Toney, and he just smashes that and straight through Darlow's legs.
I mean, so you could tell right from the off that they'd been working on pressing, you know, because they were right in their face, you know, and that was brilliant to see. But you could also see that they hadn't done that for so long, because there was, you've got to pick your right time. So if you watch it, you know, the reason Tony's in that position is because Richie's chasing the ball, and he's completely out of position when it goes over his head. And then the goal, like, I mean, it's an easy save, isn't it? It's straight at him. Like, I'm just obviously stand by you, and like in the strawberry corner, we're right behind that, and it's gone through him like he's not even there. And it's the time as well, you know, like after you just scored,
it's unbelievable.
Saying, that is just
sucks.
You think you're moving on, and then it's literally straight away it brings you straight back down. It was just, like I say, going back to the pressing. I think that turned out to be the downfall, because we just didn't hold our position. You know, you're chasing the ball, and it just goes over Richie's head, and he's in.
I thought
horrendous timing.
I watched it back a couple of times. To be fair, and it's quite weird. I was speaking to my mate last night about it, and like he kind of if you watch it back again, he kind of like tries to catch it here. Does that make sense? Like, whereas
to the side of his right foot.
Like you think you get your body behind the ball in case obviously you can't keep a hold of it. You know your body will save it for you. But he kind of just sticks his arms out. But it's the timing, isn't it? The timing is just
straight up.
It's just unbelievable.
Is there any defense? Because he hit that with a lot of venom. There was a lot.
There's a bit of pace on it. Like
there is, but I think 9 out of 10 times you'll see goalkeepers protect themselves from the ball. They'll either, obviously, what they tend to do, they tend to crouch down and put the knee.
Well, you get.
I think that's what it was trying to do, and it's like you just like it's almost like it hit a divot or it hit something. Because it should have just
thin air.
I mean, don't get us wrong. The ball may have moved a touch. You know, to be fair, but
it does.
You should have seen it. Obviously,
has it?
Yeah, of course.
Should have saved it, but
I
do. The bloke who sits next to me, I owe him an apology, because I was like, "No, that's a good strike." That, and he went, "Didn't be stupid, man." And I was like convinced that, I was convinced that Darlow had dived full length for it.
How much had you had to drink before the game?
I don't-
You sit right behind it as well.
No. And then I was sort of half time, and I was like, I sat down next to him. I was like, oh, that's terrible goalkeeping. That.
I was shocking. Like,
No.
and as I said, also Tony kissing the badge. What was your thoughts on that?
So there's mixed opinions on this one. There's a lot of people saying that Newcastle fans were booing him when he touched the ball, but then people are saying that Newcastle fans only started booing him after he kissed the badge. I don't really know.
He got booed before that, which I was shocked. I was like, "What would boo him for?"
He definitely got booed before that.
Yeah,
He's got every right. Then I would do the same.
No one would have seen him actually kissing the badge, like unless you've seen it on the telly.
Yeah.
I didn't see
Yeah.
it.
I didn't. No, I
saw him.
I saw it after. But like,
Yeah.
it is what it is. I don't blame him. Like,
No, I don't either. To be fair, I don't either.
He doesn't know us.
no, he doesn't
Anything,
know
huh?
anything.
Like,
because we didn't do anything for
if
him.
he'd stayed at Newcastle, he'd be playing for Gateshead now. So,
And the thing is, like,
Like,
obviously
that
for
is a
Newcastle
fact.
fans to boo him, and those Newcastle fans spitting fellas when we sold him. After he started playing well for different teams.
Yeah, well,
were you that disappointed?
Nah,
No.
of course not.
no.
No one even batted an eye.
Yeah.
It's only when he actually turns good that you start.
Do you
getting
know
a
what's
little
mad
bit
about? I'm not going to go down this route. I do apologise, but I looked up and I seen someone. What I find mad is like obviously Tony was scoring goals in the championship, and everyone's like, "Oh, why on earth would they sell him?" But when he scores any goals in the championship, they're like, "Well, it's shite because it's a shit level." It's weird, isn't it?
Decker was talking.
Oh,
like,
sorry, yes.
there's a Mitrovic
Yeah,
flag
sorry,
above. He
yeah.
wasn't pointing
Yeah.
to God or something.
No,
Yeah, when
yeah.
he
When he's
when the Lord, you're not in. It's not a televangelist.
Yes,
I'm
I miss-
Decker
I'm
forgets how
turning like
YouTube
a tele. When I'm
works.
going to start to
I
get you
apologise
sell your
for that,
house.
yes.
And,
So there's a Mitrovic flag above.
Yes,
So that's what Decker's pointing at.
not
but you don't think, on Tony, I don't know if I was saying this to you, but like, if you look at Lascelles and Tony, right, two players who are at Newcastle at the same time, similar age, probably Tony's a little bit younger than him, but the development of those two players, irrespective of what position they play, like Tony looks, he's played
He had
down the
our
league.
life. He had
He's had
Lascelles. Like,
consistent
he had
football.
Fabian Schürr's life. He had
And
both of
He's a
life.
class act. Like
Lascelles is exactly the same player that Ivan Toney left when he left Newcastle. Lascelles hasn't improved at all. In fact,
Well,
I think he's regressed.
I would say he's regressed because I do think there was a period certainly on how long is it? Rafa,
Aye.
Rafa,
Yeah.
where he was. Well, people wanted to
To
go for
England,
England, right?
aye.
Go for England, and
Yeah.
he was on real good form. Look, was obviously aerially always very strong, but was positionally really switched on. But certainly since Bruce has come in, or has been in, sorry,
stagnation. Hasn't
my God, he's regressed massively.
Yeah.
But Tony, I thought looked brilliant to be quite
Yeah.
honest.
He did.
You could tell he
fantastic
just-
player. Hungry,
Yeah.
unbelievably
Yeah.
hungry.
He would have wanted to prove something as well.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? But he was.
But I generally get the
he's
idea that's his
intelligent.
game, isn't it? That's,
I agree. Yeah,
that's the way he plays, isn't it? And obviously he blocked that one on the line as well.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
So
So second goal. Decker talked with the second goal. So
Well-
this is where they go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it was very similar to what Thomas said about we're pressing the ball. It's just a little bit frantic, which I know we all want to see the team pressing. Of course we do, and I don't want to bash the angle. We should be sitting back, but it's about, as Thomas said, about picking your moments when to press. And all of a sudden, we were just pressing the life out of anyone that was and we got cut to pieces. And what I just want to add, I think it's not a Brentford podcast, but them were pretty damn good on the ball. Like, to be fair,
Really
they
good.
combed
That
every
ball
player.
out with the wing.
Oh, wasn't it?
Before he bent it in.
Yeah.
It's a ball
It was
out with the
lovely,
wing.
wasn't it? And like,
yeah.
and what's mad is the two goals were conceded in, one is on Richie's side's the issue, where Richie's either pressed, getting out of position, and Tony scored. The second one is over at the back post. Very similar to St. Maxims, if I'm being honest, in terms of how it happened. Them crossed the ball, and then Murphy's nowhere to be seen, if you like. And
Murphy's caught in the place where it's
Yeah.
called Yedlin's land.
well, I've seen a few videos back of it, and Willock doesn't do much either, to be fair. Willock is tracking back, which then allows Murphy comes over to cover, who technically probably should have been Willock's man, and then obviously he's in the back post and scored. And I could not believe that we were 2-1 down. I thought, God, we took the lead so early.
Yeah.
Everything was feeling great.
Spurs all over again.
It just felt so great, you know what I mean?
Especially
And
after
then
just a loud goal as well, mind. Obviously,
yes, Tony
forgot
scored
about
again,
that,
didn't he?
yeah.
Yes, that's a good. Did you think he was offside straight away? Or?
I thought he was on.
I said he was
It was
on.
just how we're looking at VAR. I was going to give this.
Yeah, I
It was
thought
like
he
the
was
Tottenham
on.
game, wasn't
Took a
it?
while as well,
It
didn't it?
did, yeah.
I was
You
getting
get nervous at
Yeah,
that
for
point.
life.
But we were. I wouldn't say we were on the ropes necessarily, but what was worrying is every time them come forward,
It looked like scoring.
it looked like they were going to
Yeah.
score. So that was a
It's
concern.
to be fair, and like we said, it's not a Brentford podcast, but that's some of the best counter-attacking football I've seen at St James's Park.
They were great.
Well,
Honestly, they were
you'd
great.
like to think that, again, take the fact it's a Brentford, you'd like to think that we'll be there or playing that type of football under Eddie Howe, because they knew it where each other was. There was a moment where Ivan Toney got the ball, he didn't even look, and he played a right footer over his left shoulder into a space where I think Canas, and like knowing where each other's going to be. Like, I believe like that'll be hopefully what Eddie Howe can get into our players, where it's just instinctive. You know, that's a team in Brentford who've played that way for how many years?
They're a great team to watch. As a neutral.
This was 10 days for us, wasn't it?
Yeah, so, and that's why I'm encouraged, like, by what we saw. But yeah, no, I was impressed by them. Really was.
Yeah. I loved the left back there, Henry. Short comfort on the ball, great engine on, everything we need, to be honest. But yeah, it was. But to be 2-1 down was devastating. But they did show great character, like, and you know, it was also as well the fans as well, mind you. Again, I think did play a huge part. And if we had went 2-1 down before under Bruce, you know, you can imagine how toxic it would have been. Whereas, to be fair, they were chanting Eddie Howe's Black and White Army, and when the second goal went in, if I'm being honest, and I think that helps the players a lot. Like,
it does. I think it's something we've seen the last couple of weeks. Going goal down, and the fans are once again trying to get obviously the players geared up again, just to get back into the game, basically, and we did. So we'll go and equalise. It's 2-2 going to half time. If I remember right, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
2-2 going to half time. Julian Decker, I know you love this goal.
Oh, it was brilliant.
So it's
brilliant. I think maybe go to someone else because I've already talked a bit here. Like, but that was a great goal. And let someone else.
I'm happy to let you talk about this.
All right. Well,
I know you.
I want to hear.
Yeah.
I'm now struggling what to say now. Well, do you know what it is? Right. If I'm being honest, that goal, right, was everything that I want us to try and be. It was I think, you know, we're obviously attacking, but they were moving the ball fast. You know, it was pass and move. Now, obviously, we're eventually worked at the St. Maximum, and he's done a beautiful. Yeah. The thing is, sometimes with him, you know he's going to come inside. The defenders know he's going to come inside.
Can't do anything.
You can't stop it. Sometimes you can't stop it. And that little stop on the ball and then move with his left foot to get that extra yard was brilliant. But something else when I watched it back again was the amount of players we had in the box when St. Maximum got the ball. It was just night and day from what we've seen. And obviously, I know Joe Linton scored, and like he thoroughly deserved that goal. And I think. I'm sorry, I'm waffling a bit here, but like I think what it's one of them moments. You know, I was watching the game, right, and I was thinking, God, I can't wait to text the lads and see how well Joe Linton's played. And then he scored, and I was like, oh, but it's going to look obvious now because he scored. Yeah. But it wasn't just his goal; he had played so well leading up to that goal.
Fantastic.
He really did. And but going back to that goal, I'm not sure how many players touched the ball by any stretch, but it felt to me that everyone had an involvement in the goal, passing it around, moving it, you know, quick tempo. And then when we got it, they were danger man. We got him the ball in a good area of the field. He wasn't picking the ball up at left back. He's picking it up in the right area, and he rinsed both of them. His shot was poor, don't get us wrong. But again, going back to my point about having people in the box, it lands to one of our players. And Joe's finish is a brilliant finish.
It's an absolute fantastic finish. And Thomas, this is something, I'm not sure where you are on the Joe Linton fence, because apparently you've got to be on one side or the other. You can't sit on the top and think, maybe he's a half decent player. Right. Apparently, on Newcastle United Twitter, you've got to either hate the bloke or
love him.
Basically, move in with him. I think it's that bad.
He lives on the quayside, nice apartment.
Does he actually live on the quayside?
Yeah.
Somebody from work.
I've seen the pictures of him.
Somebody from work said they saw him running around the quayside. Like,
back. I'm sure he's like
a sun lounger or something.
He's got well, he's Brazilian, and he likes to be on a sun lounge. You
know? Where are you on the side of the fence with Joe Linton?
I think it's hard not to be on the negative side of that fence, but I think the one thing I've always said about Joe Linton, and one thing he did improve with from when he first came, was he actually held the ball up quite well. He just had no one to play it to, and I think that was the one area of his game that he did improve. I think on Saturday we just saw a completely different player, and I thought, Christ, like if you can get something out of him, if Eddie Howe can get something out of him, that's massive. You know, his footwork on the touchline when he just fantastic.
Did he mean to do that? Because
yes,
I've watched him for so many seasons now, and I'm thinking,
I think he did. Yeah.
Does he mean to do this?
I don't think he's that bad on the ball.
It's very Scholar-esque.
Aye, but there was even a burst of pace there at this time, which we haven't seen.
He's gone.
Like,
I looked at Mark at that point when he did that skill. I looked at Mark and went, "What's happened here?" That literally went, "What?" Like,
it's hard not to be frustrated with him, obviously. But you just hope you can turn it around, because the amount of stick he's taken, you just want him to do really, really well.
I think as well,
because he keeps turning up.
The difference is we had players around him, like you're saying, like in the box, or like I think normally under the former manager, artist formerly known as Bruce, Man United's future manager, they were pinging the ball up to him, and he's receiving the ball in a bad area with Wilson probably running away from him, and then nobody else around him. So he's kind of like, he's got to somehow hold on to the ball long enough for it to get players up to him. Got a notoriously slow midfield where fullbacks weren't pushing on. So I think the fact of having players around him was just a massive change for him.
He was everywhere as well, though, wasn't he?
Oh,
He wasn't just on the right. He was, he was everywhere.
The heat map is absolutely mental, and I was sat. I wasn't in corporate, but I was sat, I would say, around about 5-6 seats away from Paul Dummett. So Paul Dummett, Gillespie, and Woodman. Paul Dummett enjoyed that as much as what everybody else did when Joe scored. Yeah. And the noise in St. James's Park, it's one of those things where everyone's thinking, I'm just happy for him, as well as obviously that will equalise. But
like
I'm glad that he scored a goal like that.
Yeah,
because it's somebody that will know over the last week since Eddie Howe's arrived that he has been staying back in training. He has been asking for additional support when it comes to obviously football and positioning and things like that, and it showed. It showed massively.
Was his best performance in a black and white shirt?
There's a lot of people saying that if he can perform like that every single game, then we've got a great player.
Yeah,
but I'd even argue, if he plays like that, even a large chunk of that, not exactly like that every game, you still got a decent player on your
team. It's another option now, wasn't it?
Yeah,
we have been lacking in options, and if he's going to come up with performances like that, you can rest a little bit easier.
Yeah,
I agree.
And also, he usually takes. He's been out the side, so and he's one of them players who you kind of just high in and like he's not like like Alan who you can just put in and you know what you're gonna get. I can always call him Alan. I know he's not the garlic muncher, whatever.
Oh,
we're not
allowed to call Alan St. Maximum saying anymore. Apparently,
it's Alan, man.
What a comment on Instagram.
It's Alan.
What a private message.
Right?
See, we're not allowed to call him Saint.
No, he doesn't like it. No. We could play him. We could call him.
We're allowed to call him Garlic God.
Garlic God, but can't call him Saint.
I've got no idea. People just don't like it.
Oh, okay, nice.
So Saint, what you doing?
No, but like Joe Linton usually takes 3 or 4 games to feel his formally to feel his way into the team, and whereas this time he was just in the side and he hit the ground running. It was like it was just. Well, I was just completely blown away. I was like, you just couldn't believe who this player was.
For me, a lot of times when I've watched him, I always thought he kind of sometimes does the hard things really well, like in taking the ball under pressure, holding people off. And then when he has to try and play that 5-10 yard passes behind the player, too much on it, maybe not enough on it. And I'm like, he's not even a footballer, him.
Yeah.
But somehow everything, well, not everything, sorry, because we'll know what we're going to come to. I do think he was gassed at that point as well. But anyway, he played brilliantly.
But even when he slipped it, in that first half when he ran down the wing, I think he played a 1-2
early on. He slipped.
And he slipped. Now, the former Joe Linton would have rolled around.
Gets the ball back,
he would have been a huff. But he got straight back up and he put the centre back under pressure, and that's all we want. That isn't taking on 4 players and scoring a wonder goal. That is just effort.
It's strange that we're talking about a game where Thomas, most games we're relying on Callum Wilson to score the goals. Callum Wilson, for me, I'm not going to say he had a poor game, but he wasn't really involved much because everybody else was stealing the headlines.
Yeah.
And that's what you want, really.
Yeah, just goes back to the options again, though, isn't it? He's not the only outlet, and that was great. You had many players getting involved, and he's probably thankful for that because the pressure's off him slightly. Yeah. There's other people coming in and taking
what I
chances.
do want to mention about Wilson, I'm not sure if you've noticed it, but there was later on, it must have been it might be in the first half actually, towards the end of the first half, where Ivan Toney goes to take a throw in. Then out of nowhere, Wilson comes over and just barges into him. Doesn't he have the ball? Just shoulder barges.
He loves a bit of that, man.
I'm thinking you've done that to wind him up there, just to try and get a reaction out of him because he's having a good game. Good. That's shit house.
Wilson is.
You need a shit house.
He's a right shit house.
I did see a stat that they were saying the front 3 had 17 shots against Brentford. They're saying, I mean, we don't have 17 shots in half of the season. So to have that in one game is just from 3 players,
Higher possession.
I did think that I didn't think we played necessarily to Wilson's strengths at times because we were lumping it in the middle and they're big centre halves like Janssen from Leeds, was from Leeds, another big lad, and some of the crosses obviously I know we did score from one, but we weren't necessarily playing to his strengths. But I did think he led the line well, even though he didn't touch the ball much or do much. He was always moving. Even when the ball's in the air, he's clever at nudging players, isn't he? Just trying to lean into them and stuff. And he's always a threat. But I totally agree with the comment that sometimes don't, as much as I do love it when he scores, it's nice to score 3 goals and hasn't scored one. It gives you confidence that we've got goals in the team.
Apparently, he's 1 yellow card away from a suspension.
Well, that'll come
That
next
makes
week.
total sense.
So that's why shoulder bodging players on.
Yeah.
Oh, never.
Apparently, he's one away
He's
from.
bound to get one on Saturday.
So
Could you not think like
protect him on
Dwight
Saturday?
Gale will just come in and
Not against
will
Arsenal.
Dwight Gale be a better player under?
Not against.
It's funny now, thinking of it now. Imagine if we still had Tony. Tony would be a hell of a reserve for Wilson, wouldn't he? I mean, he wouldn't be because I know he's playing Premier League football.
Yeah.
But like,
So, second half, they take the lead once again, Roger. Talk us through this goal.
When I first saw it, because when the stadium announced, I was like Jamal Sales own goal. I was like,
Well, he said somebody else's name first. He said the Brentford player
like-
first. Then he said,
and then it was
Jamal
only
Sales
later
goal.
when obviously the shot looked like it was going wide, and then obviously it's just hit. But if you take it back 5 yards to where I think Murphy and Shelby again coming back to that pressing, just obviously they were pressing in the right area, but like it was a bit non-committal because it ended up they both came over with their legs open, and then the fullback manages to poke it through his legs, and then the ball's free. You know, like so they were applying pressure, but
prior to that, though, Darlow makes that strange slide tackle, doesn't he? We've got chances before that, and Darlow comes out and does that weird slide tackle, and the ball goes straight back, doesn't it?
Could on the other side, could Rich? Is that where Richie could have cleared it as well? Where Richie took it out to the corner flag, and then he knocked it. I think he went and knocked it down the line, and then they got it recycled it and put it back over the
There
other
was a
side.
series of errors, but the Darlow
Yeah.
thing stands out where Darlow just goes out and does this weird challenge thing, and it just comes back into place straight away.
okay, right. That wasn't when the lad was 1-on-1, though, right? There was a lad 1-on-1, and he comes
It
out.
was edge of the box. It was
It was like 3 or 4 moves before that.
Yeah.
actual
I do
goal.
seem to remember somebody
It
else
was
on
great
that
save for
side.
one-on-one one.
That's what. I do seem to remember someone either try to play a pass inside that just had no chance of getting there, and then won the ball back. And as you say, it went out wide, and then we're in big.
Because in some of those situations, you just hoof it into the east stand, reset. You know, like
Dummett-esque.
yeah, just do what you've got to do. You know that you look down the line, you've got one player there. Just knock it out.
So there's a comment in saying that, Roger, you're all right. So that Richie Morse.
Is that me mum watching again?
It's Ian. It's Ian Dayton says that you're right. It happened just after Darlow incident. So when Darlow does that slide tackle, then
It went
obviously
out to Richie.
Then it ends up coming back.
But I know we're 12 games. We are unfortunately a work in progress, and these things will get have to iron out. I think once you get a proper fullback, once you get 2 fullbacks in there, I think you might not have such chaos at times.
If you forget what Darlow's just done for the slide tackle there, can you point a finger at Darlow's positioning despite the deflection?
He nearly got to it though, didn't he? He did nearly. He's
But it
close,
goes
isn't
to
he?
where he's standing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's close to him. I think he just had a on the worst possible occasion. Although he redeemed himself slightly with his kick out to
That's right.
Alan, and then Alan to the wee man. You know what I mean?
I
So,
thought.
The
I mean,
deflection as well, though.
yeah,
it's-
like a deflection's cruel.
I didn't think I thought it just went in. I honestly thought I
No,
just
I
bet,
did.
and I thought, how have you been beaten from there? But then when I heard the own goal, even me and Mark just went, own goal.
So it's
And when
right in front of me.
When you see it back, it's again one of them moments where you're like, Christ, like how unlucky is that? Like
How
Never
Newcastle
goes
is
in our,
that?
that never goes in our favour.
that could have rebounded out for a corner or anything.
Yeah.
It just happened to go straight in.
If
Because
that
just
does, it
before
goes
that-
to them to hit one the counter
Just
attack.
before that, Maxi bent one wide, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that
Just
was
before that.
yeah.
And
Shelby
you're
played a lovely
thinking,
ball.
That's
with it.
just gone wide.
Yeah.
Big chance.
Yeah.
Go up the other end and that happens, and you're thinking it goes in with a deflection. When's that going to go our way? You
Yeah.
know, like it just feels like it's always.
This is
a
why I
game.
still think we'll stay up because we've
Bit
had
of luck.
such terrible luck.
So moving on to our equaliser, Thomas. I'll come to you. So Eddie Howe's making the changes. Sat in his hotel room apparently, and he instructs for Fraser to come on. That is a different Ryan Fraser than I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
That ball that goes in, it comes. Who starts? Is it Shelby that starts?
Sane started off.
Sane.
Well, I tell you like,
Darlow started.
yeah, Darlow started.
Darlow Sane, yeah.
Sane does amazing.
And then obviously it cuts through past Joe Linton, doesn't it? Just in front of Joe Linton, and then goes to Fraser. That ball from Fraser,
That's ridiculous.
it's special.
It's
That
absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's as good as what Brentford's was, for their second.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
everyone's thinking, and probably the keeper's thinking that's landing on Wilson's head.
Yeah,
But it's just over the top.
just over, and the finish. like to catch it as well as what he did as well. I think it's goals like that as to why people went mental. You know, we've just equalised against Brentford. You know, so
the grand scheme of things.
In the grand scheme. But it's goals like that. It's just you're on the front foot and you get a ball into the box and it's straight in the back of the net. That's why people go.
There's something about a cross in it.
There is.
You know, I remember Kennedy to Rondon when he scored. It was just you just go wild.
Going back to when Shelby first came in his first game.
Oh my God!
When played the ball out wide.
Yamat.
Bent it in for Ronaldo, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
there's something about a whip ball in a goal, isn't there?
There is something about so. It's just a great goal. It's just a fantastic goal. I actually thought we were going to win it at that point. Like, it was
like 15 minutes to go, didn't we? Yeah, I agree.
But I think that's part of our. I think that is, for me, growing up watching Newcastle. That's our DNA. Crosses in the box.
Get it in the box.
You know, always had a winger. Get a cross in the box. Probably goes back even. I'm sure like Hibbert, Tony Green. You know, like these wingers. Get it down and like
I'm Rule Fox thinking
and there's something really
it's a great
just
finish,
sexy about a right good cross, you know.
Because as you say,
beautiful.
I mean, first of all, I mean, the way that he collects the ball in turns with it, first of all, because a lot of players will just tuck on the chest and maybe pass back and start again, whatever. He does that little jink to come inside and plays a lovely ball out wide. But a lot of players would have just admired that pass and kind of went, oh, well, it's up to you now, Fraser. But he, you know, the next second he's in the actual box. Do you know what I mean? Again, what I mean, coming back almost to Joe Linton goal is people seem to be willing. I've seen it always is, but you know, getting in the right area. The ball's amazing, but it's just missed Wilson's head, and a lot of players may have been, you know, is he going to get there or not? And he just timed the sort of half volley thing, whatever, so well.
It's not hit on the volley.
I think it is maybe the volley.
I think it's on the volley.
It's the best one too we'll ever see, to be quite honest. So it was brilliant. And the celebrations, I mean, were amazing. Joe Linton wasn't happy with them because he went into the crowd and Joe Linton.
Do you not think it would have been better, like Clarence Acuna against Bradford, go and get the ball out the net and get to the halfway?
Yeah, because he celebrated
the ball down. You know what I mean? But
going back to, I mean, the moment at the Gallowgate end, it was such a good goal. But Joe Linton's kind of like, Maxi, come on, like, come in the game. Do you know what I mean?
To be fair, it's one of those things where that's the sort of player that's saying is he's going to jump in the fans to celebrate with the fans, but Joe Linton's probably thinking, right, we've got a chance to go and win this now, get back on. And the fact
little did he know,
you know for
5 minutes later,
he'd be thinking, you know for fine well that you're getting booked for this as well. We can't be picking up daft bookings like this.
And you think the amount the referee let go in that game, and then he gets to yell. I know it's the rule, but he gets a yellow for that.
The referee was great in the first 15, 20 minutes. I thought he was letting a few things go. Then towards the end, I thought, you're taking the piss now.
Yeah. He let one go on. I think it was maybe Willock did one. It was Shocker or maybe Shea. I can't remember. And I thought that's a yellow card. And he let it go really early on.
On the halfway line.
And you overran it. He let it go, and I thought that's. I'm really surprised, but I'm glad. And then it just didn't work.
So let's go to the one where we could have won the game. Saints run is Ben Arthur-esque. I'm thinking he's in the box.
How fast was he? Like, it was almost like FIFA or something, man. Like
it was. I'm not sure which Brentford player it was, but it was similar to that Bolton one where he tries to clatter him. He just tries to wipe him out. He's nowhere near him.
Shelby won the ball back actually, and then give it to Saints. It did really well, I thought, there, to be quite honest. And then obviously it's the Saints show after that, really.
So he got injured from that, didn't he?
Saint
Max
Yeah,
when he tried to take him down, he was injured after that.
He was laid
down after the chance.
He never really recovered.
He never recovered from that.
I didn't even notice.
He laid down for ages, like in front of.
He got clipped when he was running through, and that's what's done him.
I didn't even notice. But Saint absolutely fantastic run. And he plays it in a duel later, and you're thinking, hit it first time. Even if it just hit it, and in his brain, I think he does the right thing. He does, because the players are just gone past him, and I think it looks like his right boot just gets planted and stuck. He can't bring it back
because he doesn't slip, does he? He doesn't slip. He just
so the one in the first off, it's a clear slip, and you see him slip. But on the right one, you see his foot just plants right. Then he just can't bring it back, and that's when he falls.
It just looks like he just falls. I still watch it back now, and I still can't.
It's like he'd overstretched, and then he couldn't.
He just couldn't.
His body position wasn't in a way that he could jump back on it.
He just gave up as well, and it was like, what's going on? Because I remember it was just after that.
He's fucked at this point. Isn't he?
He's in the centre circle, and he's kneeling down, and Shelby and Lascelles went up to him at the same time, and they're both like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? And they both just walked away from him. He's obviously explained what had happened. They both just walked away, arms in the air, because they just couldn't believe. Because to everyone there, I don't think anyone could understand how he'd actually fallen over, because it was quite clearly he didn't slip. So I was waiting
for a VAR referral or something, because I thought maybe the player clipped him slightly.
I think he's planted his foot and he's just been that exhausted. He just hasn't been able to bring it back.
I thought I've watched it so many times, like more so for the Saint run, to be honest. Just what a run that was. It's so fast. But anyway, his first touch isn't very good, Joe Linton's. I think if the first touch is more in front of him, I think he hits that. But the first touch, he doesn't really clearly get out of his feet, so then he cuts back. You know what I mean? I just feel the first touch, if you watch it back, he doesn't get it further out of his body to be able to take a smash at it. But having said all that, he does that an awful lot, right? He's on that side and he likes to come back in and hit it with his left.
Not long ago.
Tottenham, he did it. Obviously, that was a while ago, to be fair, but that was his first goal. Very similar, cutting back. He does it a lot, to be honest with you, where he cuts back and tries to bend it with his left. But it's just again, it's one of them moments, isn't it, where like, I mean, I honestly thought this is it. Like, we're going to win here. Joe's going to score the winner. Saints just ran. Sorry, Maxi.
And we all skip into the big market, all hand in hand.
I thought this was it.
All I'm saying is Parker on the field.
Yeah, because I always knew when we equalised 3-3, you knew we were going to create a chance.
Yeah,
you knew we had 15 minutes to go. We're going to get one opportunity, but you knew obviously when that happened that was it. But again, going what Thomas says, I mean, I've watched so many. I just do not understand really what happened. To be honest,
I think he's just planted his foot and he's just got stuck.
I did think he was exhausted. I thought he was gassed before that, and I think because there was just before that he had another chance where again they were pressed well and someone won the ball back, and Joe Linton's just running through, and I think he just ran into someone almost, and I thought he looks shattered now, like, to be honest. But
it was annoying because like obviously Maxi, because he got injured at that point, they just swapped right backs, hadn't they?
They had, yeah.
And they brought this really big lad on at right back. I'm thinking he can't be playing right back. I'm thinking get Maxi the ball, do him.
Yeah.
And he got injured at that point, and he just wasn't the same for the rest of the game. He got the ball at one point and tried a 30-yard strike.
Did Almiron ever make it on the field?
No,
because he was on the touchline at one point.
I think he was ready. I think when they brought Longstaff on, I think
he was ready to come on. Then all of a sudden, he disappeared back in the.
Well, I think with Longstaff, that was a hard game to come into as a sub. Like, it was so. I mean, Longstaff's he's not the quickest. So like,
and mate, I know we've said to keep it positive, but that was shocking display from Longstaff when he came on. I just think it was such a harem scarum game. Like that it was. But you've got Ryan Fraser coming on.
Ryan Fraser is a quick player.
It's a different position as well.
Mobile player. He's on the front foot.
I think Longstaff.
I mean, he didn't play great, but like, I think the situation he came into was like, fucking hell. Like,
for me,
the pace of it was just incredible.
I'm talking about the current team, by the way. I'm not saying the future, but it always comes back to me to show just how important Shelby is. Like, because you've got Longstaff to rely on, then you've got Hendrick to rely on. So everyone's banging the drum constantly that Shelby's not good enough, he's too lazy, he's this, he's that. All right, well, don't play him then. So, all right, let's play Longstaff and Hendrick every week then, if that's what you want. It's never going to work.
I think the thing with Longstaff as well, I understand, yes, it might be a really paced game or a really paced game, but there's no excuse for losing the ball the way he did. Like,
well,
he's not even getting challenged. He's just giving them the ball.
You can sometimes when you've just come on the field, because obviously it was as Roger said there. What did you say the term you used?
Harem scarum.
Harem scarum. That was it. It was. And
putting that one in your locker.
Oh, it's in there. It's in there. Yeah, it was the one, and I understand. But when you've lost it once and twice, you're like, right, I need now to sort it out. But he got caught in possession
every time,
a lot of times, and it was. I do agree, it was tough. I wanted to quickly mention, what do you think on Willock? What was your thoughts on his performance?
I think it just passed by him again.
Yeah,
your thoughts on it?
He was a little bit more involved than what he has been at the start of the season. But I think you're right. There's still. We haven't seen last season Willock, have we, at all?
I don't think we will, mate.
Yeah, I don't think we will either.
I think you might see him chipping a couple of goals, but you're not going to see.
Like I say, I think hopefully
flash in the pan.
Hopefully with Eddie, I hope you're not right there, mate.
Honestly, in my opinion, when I used to, and I never called him, I didn't, but like there was times in the game where he never touched the ball ever, and he would score. He would score. Fair enough, fantastic. And I think when he's not scoring, he was more involved. I definitely agree. There was one moment in the first half. I'm sure I was going to say Saint again. Maxi played him through, and he just had that defender to beat. And the defender made an amazing tackle. He was 1-on-1 with the keeper. Willock would have been in the first half, but the defender made a great challenge. But
what hasn't received enough credit is they're attacking towards the end of the game, and Fraser makes a great tackle in our box.
Then
I think Shelby wins it. Maybe.
Well, that was one of them ones where you're like.
Great tackle.
You see the ball roll away and you're like,
absolutely great tackle. He just nicks it away from him. Absolutely great tackle. And there's little moments like that throughout the game.
Yeah.
Where Shelby, like it was a Shelby that we've seen before, but you don't see it very often.
Yeah.
Where he loses a ball, then he wants that ball back. He
without recklessly. You know,
There was that one in the first half when he played Maxi.
Oh, jeez, wow!
He'd lost the ball.
You see the header he did just before,
and
he was like
trying to win the ball.
An under sevens head out.
Oh yeah. I just want to say,
and it bounced.
Did he pull that face as well?
He did loads of lovely passes, but there was one where
this is your perfect episode. This isn't it?
he was just. I thought he was fantastic. He was everything, as Roger said, that he maybe you can't be like that all the time. I mean, I don't expect him to be like against Man City because it's just different opposition, right? But the couple of things that he did really well for me is when I under Bruce, certainly he'd come far too deep for the ball and get it off the centre halves, stay on the ball for too long, and then look for a 50-60 yarder almost every time. This time though, he was doing little just short passes that were starting moves off. You know what I mean? There was a few he just slipped into Willock, bang, Willock was away or whatever. The one he did to Saint though,
there's a few that he just pings across the Saint.
But them were on the break, if anything, and Shelby ran back, and somehow it seemed to land to Shelby, and he did it almost sort of tackle/pass, like just to Maxi, and Maxi just broke this lad's ankles. He just done these like he was away, but he blazed it over the bar. It was right at half time, and I was out my seat because I knew Shelby, you're gonna play the. I hope you're gonna play the pass. I think you're gonna play. And when he played it, I stood up and I was like, hang on, he's in here if he gets past this one guy. Which he did, but he blazed it over. But I thought Shelby's, the Thomas mentioned the same chance just before them actually scored. Shelby's ball, man, was just amazing.
The one he played to Willock in the second half, where Willock was near the strawberry corner, like that side of the box, and he played it from I think he just turned quickly and clipped it, and just it was perfect. I mean, it bounced and then hit his chest, I think, and then he played it out to.
That was the chance. I mean,
and I was like. And he played, I think it was like 4 passes that I was just like, that is world class. And I like hyperbolic slightly, but like they were brilliant passes. And this is the frustration with him.
I agree.
And like, I think though, playing share helps push him forward 10 yards because he's not having to come and get the ball off the centre halves. Because I think that's his safety blanket.
Well, it is, isn't it? No pressure on them.
There was also more options so that they weren't fully focused on Shelby. He had a bit more space, which he loves. When Shelby's under pressure, his performance does struggle. He was just class, but that it needs to be consistent again. It's like Joe Linton. If we see that again in Arsenal, that has to be Norwich. Like we have to win that. Clearly, Norwich.
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
Like it's getting scary now. Like
there was a ball, Shelby did. It was a free kick. It was, and he put the ball down and just what a pass! But it came back. The referee brought it back because he said the ball was rolling.
Yes. Yes.
What a
ball! That would have been number 5. That would have been past number 5.
He was furious, wasn't he?
He was furious at that point. Like
what a pass! He goes, because it's me, isn't it?
He said that again.
He goes, because it's me, isn't it?
It was a pass.
If it gets pulled back,
but it was, during the game itself, I remember saying an awful lot about Joe Linton, but a lot of times I went, God, Shelby, that was amazing. Or what a ball from Shelby. Like I said it so often, in the game. And I don't know. It's just, the thing is, as Roger said, there's a player there. And can Eddie Howe get the best out of him?
How old Shelby now?
27, 28, I think.
He's just coming into his,
autumn
years, right? So...
forever.
Yeah.
I love it every time we try and guess somebody's age. We're probably about 4 years out every time. So we're probably in his 30s.
What did you make of Murphy's performance? Murphy. Obviously, I know defensive he's not thingy, but
Murphy for me, he was grafting, but there's a couple of times he just passes out a touch.
Yeah,
it's just not even out of play. He just passes out, and I'm thinking.
But Richie did that a few times. Where he was blasting it out of play. I know he's trying to get it to Maxi, but he's literally blasting it.
He's literally twats it.
And he put his hand straight him. I'm so sorry.
Aye.
He's gone for energy though, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Murphy.
Yeah.
That's what you're getting.
Yeah.
I like Murphy.
I do. I thought he looked a bit more confident. Like he's a massive confidence player.
Now he's a player that I genuinely believe how will advance.
Yeah.
I feel like he will.
Lewis 29.
He's
even 30 in just a couple of months' time.
He's 30.
In a couple of months in February, yeah.
That's he's all right. Well, the thing is the problem.
Is he in his prime now, Decker?
He should be.
Well, he was after Saturday. But no, I think the problem you've got is, listen, he might have a shot against Arsenal and the whole world will want him out again. It's very, very, Joe Linton, for example, is getting loads of praise. I'm seeing people on Twitter ask for an apology in that, man. That should be, where's me apology?
What was it?
One game, man.
The praise should be as big as the apology or something.
And I'm like, hang on. He's played 75 games, however many, pretty damn poorly. He's had one very good game, and I loved it. But come on, like we need to have a bit of a.
So if anybody's got any questions that they want to answer, we'll dedicate the next 5-10 minutes for a handful of questions there. I'm trying to think if there's any other stand. So next game, so Arsenal game. Thomas, are you bringing Dubravka back in?
Yeah.
100%?
100%.
I'm in agreement. You boys?
God, aye, yeah.
Woodman. No, aye. Yeah, I'll bring him back in. Aye.
Woodman. I've got a story about Woodman, but I'll tell you after this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
No,
It's not that big of a secret.
it's got to be.
but I'll just tell you
Yeah.
afterwards.
I mean, I think Darlow does this. I think he did this last time when
Do you reckon he
Dubravka was
shits
on his.
himself?
I think
Aye.
I think when the pressure's on him, I think that just shows he's a very good keeper, and I think he could probably still play in the Premier League, like But I think it's just levels of Dubravka is just head and shoulders above him,
We need that presence back, didn't we?
and I think he gives a bit of confidence to the centre
I feel
backs.
very nervous with Darlow.
Yeah.
Like, I must admit, I like Darlow, and God forbid we
Those one against Brentford there where he picks the ball up and he just lets it roll across the box and I'm thinking, and I'm dying inside every time he does
And
that.
did he play the ball out? Did it go? He missed the pass as well.
Towards the end of the
Yeah.
game, he just hoofed. After the brilliant pass,
90th minute.
he hoofed it and went out for a throw in.
90th minute.
I was furious at that. I'm thinking we've got to just get the ball on the deck because we were playing quite well with the ball.
And I think that's the difference,
He's
isn't it?
launched it up the pitch and it was just getting back to normal. It was getting. There was one point in the game when we slightly referred back to what we were used to. We were panicking and we were just home. I think it was when we went 2-1 down. We panicked for a little bit and then we got to grips with it. Someone had obviously had a word and said, get the ball down. It was like we were playing really well when we did.
Yeah. Just to go through a couple of things which have been said there, just before I go through the questions. If you do want to become a member of the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel, you can do so. There will be a link on the homepage that you can join. If you want to like this video, that's perfect as well. And become a subscriber. That's enough for us. You don't have to become a member, but if you do get extra content. Thomas recorded his Man United video, so that'll be early access on there. And like I said, you do get early access to more things. You get invited to the Gallowgateshots Telegram group. Everyone's part of that apart from Decker.
Yeah, what is it?
Mate, it's been around for ages.
That's it?
Yeah.
So this is full circle Decker about WhatsApp.
So I apologize. So I'll join you.
So Decker, I'll tell you as well as everybody else that's watching. There's a Telegram group that most of the Gallowgateshots contributors are a part of.
What do you do?
And anyone who's a member also gets a link to join, so you can interact with our lovely viewers.
Oh,
and
well,
members.
get us in then.
So it's basically
I've only been on the podcast 5 years.
So it's WhatsApp. It's basically WhatsApp but for members only.
So it's another group for you to.
Oh, another group.
Another group you put your links 2 hours too late. Eh?
No, hey, put us in then. Go on then. Put us in.
So yeah. First question is from Callum Lewis. He says, what about the Dan Gosling podcast? Roger hosted Dan Gosling. An interview with Dan Gosling.
It like?
Dan's Wi-Fi wasn't the greatest.
Yeah.
It's a shame. Hopefully we'll try and get Dan back on at some point in the future, even if it's because I think there's a lot of stories that I felt as if Dan wanted to get off his chest as well.
Yeah.
There was a few things I thought he held back on with his time at Newcastle United and Alan Pardew especially. When you mentioned his name, done an eye roll.
I think you've just got to go with what they're comfortable with. You know? I think with his connection, I think we worked out probably laptops better. I don't think iPad is optimized.
iPads are the worst when you're using StreamYard because they're horrendous. Ryan Taylor tried to use a laptop, an iPad first of all, and he changed last minute.
But
as well.
for our next star guest, hopefully we'll have a better setup.
On the back of the Dan Gosling podcast, we do have another player coming on. We'll not tell you who it is yet, but we do have another player coming on and have a chat with us. So that's going to be very insightful.
Yeah.
A player that I think every single Newcastle United fan loves. Thomas knows who it is, but he's not telling us. But every Newcastle fan
You
loves
love a
him.
little tease, don't you? Just
I do. I don't think
he'll
it's that
post
big
some
guess,
like
to be honest,
cryptic.
man.
There'll be some cryptic stuff coming up.
I think that's a hard guess.
Yeah,
I do as well.
100%.
All right, okay.
Yeah. No one will think it's Gaza. No, it's not Gaza.
Put the t-shirt on, everything.
Oh, you guys going to get that t-shirt on?
It's definitely
That
not.
was like it's like those subliminal messages.
I'll tell you this now. Bestie's found. I'll be.
Oh, dear me.
He hasn't. Right. Next question. This one's for you, Thomas. Will we ever see war flags in the away end?
Ooh.
I would imagine that takes a lot more prep because then you have to liaise with
It would take quite a bit of permission from other clubs. You don't see it very
and
often.
they won't want that
No.
in there.
No. Unless the only way you could do it is if they've got it as a home crowd as well. Sneak them in. They're quite big to sneak in if they're on poles.
Put them in pizza boxes.
I don't know. To be honest, it's fine. Like if I'm going to an away game, I'm probably on the drink.
Aye.
And
that's your time off, isn't it?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
but like an upside down heady house.
It's finding someone that would actually do it.
Yeah.
It would have to, I mean, I don't get the buses. It would have to go down on buses because you need the room for the poles.
Yeah.
It'd be difficult. It'd be great. Like,
can you tell me? So the Spurs game, was there a banner the wrong way around? Nobody had noticed, but I'm sure you just put something else here. And nobody noticed that the banner was the wrong way around.
Yeah, there was
the bottom one.
The bottom one. Yeah.
Well, obviously not the one above
it.
Whose fault was that, Thomas?
Collective responsibility.
You don't have to
Collective
say it.
responsibility.
I was just about to give a name there, but I won't.
No, you don't want to get kicked out of the WhatsApp group.
No, but it was just obviously in the mad rush of things, we got the most important one the right way around.
Yeah.
But the one on the bottom is the, if you look back, the badge is the wrong way, and you can see it. It's
and it was amazing how quickly you got the Whitley Bay Mosque on the.
I know, yeah,
on
beautiful,
the We Are the Geordies one. Aye.
But
that's one of my favourite stories from that.
That is absolutely incredible.
It's the best.
They've only been there a couple of months. They've got a mosque on a banner already.
As if we just made the flag as well. I mean, it
unbelievable.
was just
somebody's nan's furiously knitting away.
Exactly.
Is it knitted? I don't know. Do you knit these?
I don't think the flags are knitted.
No,
we did buy a sewing machine recently as well, like for that big one, because there was a lot of big holes in it. Like, so we had to sew it back together. So
we just sew a defence back together. See what I did there?
Don't lose your thread.
David Sharp. Any plans for a Christmas special episode? Then he says the goalkeeper kits. So we've done the Battle of the Kits, and the goalkeeper kits is the only one which we'll have left to do.
Well, it's a great shout.
It is a shout. I think with Christmas episodes,
maybe a live karaoke special. You never know.
So with Christmas episodes last year went down a treat. Yeah. When we're done with Christmas movies, we're done with Christmas songs. Die Hard, it still isn't a Christmas movie. Were you in agreement with me there?
100%.
All right, okay.
100%.
Thomas, is Die Hard?
Yeah.
It's not a Christmas movie. Roger,
I think
it's a Christmas movie.
No, man, it's not. I'm not getting this.
He's
now.
sitting in Mark's seat. That's
we'll
why
save
I
it
said
for Christmas. He's in the stupid.
No,
seat.
I have a disposition now, and he had to argue. So
that's fair.
I mean, just
yes. Graham Dougal says £1,280 raised for the ball raffle so far. So Digger,
yeah.
I know I put you on the spot there.
That's right, mate. That's fine.
You getting your notes?
No, I just wanted to check. Yeah. So first of all, we've had 125 donations, and as he said, it's at £1,280 for the fundraiser for Fraser. We've been refreshing the page, as you can imagine, like all the time. And the family, Debs, his wife, has said, like, she's literally texting us all the time saying, like, oh, I'm crying. I can't believe how amazing it is. And she just, myself and she just wants to thank every single person for your support and the donations that you've made. It's just like, it's went beyond what I thought it would go. So, like, thank each and every one of you. There is 5 days to go, I believe. Yes, there's 5 days. So we'll post the link again, and I certainly will. And just so you remember, it's £5 to enter. You can obviously enter as many times as you wish. We're going to do a raffle next Monday. We're going to get all the names sorted. I've already allocated you all numbers. Just so you know as well, I have actually donated, but I've took myself out the draw because that would be just horrendous if I won the ball.
Imagine if one of us
won it would be the worst. So I've took myself out.
I did think about that.
Yeah, it worried me to death, to be honest with you. But as just once again, obviously, thank you so much for everything that you're doing. There's one guy, and I'm so sorry I can't remember your name. Had said that he'll basically put the rest to get it to the 500. So, for example, we're at 1,280 now. If it stopped now, which I hope it doesn't, he would then pay the rest to get it to 1,500.
Top it up to round it up to the next 500.
And then he says if we get over that, he'll go to 2,000. So,
boom.
I'm really sorry I can't remember your name. I feel terrible, but thanks very much for that. I really honestly
we'll find out for the draw, mate.
Well, we'll find out, definitely, yes. You'll have a lot of interviews as well if you do that. But again, thanks so much. It means so much to me family, and just honestly, it means everything. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so if anybody is interested, as you can see on the front of the desk there is a Newcastle United Castor Ball. Like Dick, I mentioned last week, best thing about it, there's no Sports Direct logos on there, and it is signed by the current 21-22 playing squad. So tickets are £5 a number. Dick, I'll put the link in, but we'll put the link in the description again. The draw is next week. We'll do it live on this podcast. And thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks very much. Yeah.
And
I'll also, I will deliver it. Well, if it's close, I'll deliver it as well. Yeah. So someone said I had to stay for tea, so I'll definitely stay for tea if that's on the table.
Depends what's for tea, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. To be fair,
Yeah,
yeah. At least I said if someone does 100 quid, I can sleep with you. That's what she said. So. Honestly, what she said.
I'm gonna pay for that.
Yeah, but thanks very much, honestly.
Right. Let's have a look to see if there's any more questions there. There's a few. I'm sorry, I've skipped through quite a few there.
While you're looking, I just want to ask Thomas a question.
Okay.
It's a bit of a daft one, but
It's about Die Hard again.
no. Do you know, like, I've probably been asked this 100 times. Do you know when you see the photos back, like, you know, like what does it feel like to see them back? Like, is it immense pride of what you have achieved? Yeah, 100%. Like, because I have obviously no part in that, but when I look at them, I feel proud of what they are.
It's brilliant. Because when you put it together and then you eventually see it, I try to get a photo straight away, but obviously the service in the ground is horrendous. So it's always after the game when I see it.
Yeah.
But it's class, like, and you know, obviously we've had a lot of recognition recently off of the owner. Dad, you know, he sent a tweet, and to be fair, it was his tweet that actually inspired the
second one.
The quote. Obviously, this is our house, this is Newcastle. We loved it. We thought let's just get that made, and that was the late change. So it was his tweet that did it, and which is brilliant. But when you see it back, like, it's
just amazing. You would have seen it today. I think it was today. The club putting on where the players have got the stadium jacket on, they're like lined up, and then you've got the background. It just looks.
We deliberately did that because if you remember against Chelsea, it went up and it came down straight away.
We weren't even out with the players. Weren't out with it.
Nah. Yeah. So we said this time it's not going out until the players walk out the tunnel.
Right.
And it stayed literally until kick-off.
Yeah.
I don't know how people in the Gallowgate felt about that when they were stood behind the banner, like, but it is what it is. Like, I think
it comes down. It comes down quick.
It comes down in time for the kickoff. As soon as it's down before ball's kicked, and that's all that matters, isn't it? So, so we're deliberately held back on it this time, and we held it because you get a lot of antsy. People say, "Oh, should we put it down now?" You know, because you do get a couple of people shouting, but then after that, it's like, no, you just got to hold your nerve. Just hold your nerve.
Time stands still when you stand in somebody's way, doesn't it?
Yeah, massively so.
So then, is there somebody? Is there somebody at the back? Is there somebody at the back of the Gallowgate? So. These are probably questions you've already had already.
No, go for it.
But like, is the people, your people at the back of the Gallowgate, and then they release
with the big one?
Aye. Like,
so
how do you?
It's hard because you only get so many volunteers. And obviously, something that heavy, it's difficult to hold it when you've then got 25, 30 people in the same row trying to force it back down. It's really difficult to hold. Otherwise, it'll just rip. We probably put it up too early. But it's live and learn because it's so big. You expect it to take a while to get up. Hopefully, keep it up there for a while, and then it just comes straight back down. It was disappointing that the Chelsea one.
I'm just more thinking of like the logistics of like how do you
get people who
are the
top. Fitter ones in the group who will run pretty much from the bottom with it all the way to the top. I don't know if you've ever done that walk, like, but
I'm not doing that.
Oh wow,
that's
a real.
I'm not doing that.
Maybe we'll do it for charity.
Just talking about the flags. Do you want to give a mention how people can volunteer? Because I know every single time he's asking for volunteers. Is that just to contact the War Flags Twitter account, Facebook page? Yeah, send us a DM. Send us your number. We've actually set up a WhatsApp group now with volunteers in. Okay,
he's good WhatsApp. So I will set up a WhatsApp group. So if you want to, just DM us on Twitter or Facebook. We'll get you added to this WhatsApp group. It's a massive help because, like, without the volunteers on Saturday, the display wouldn't have been as good as what it was. You know, people waving the massive flags, not just holding the banner. So please help us out. It would be a massive help. You know, we're all right during the week when we're making them. It doesn't need that many hands on deck, but on match day we need as many people as possible.
We'll say this every single time we have you or somebody from War Flags on, but I think I speak for everybody on our YouTube channel that it's a huge asset to the fan base and the football.
It's massive.
To be fair, and I honestly believe what War Flags have done over such a short period of time, no other Premier League club will even come close to replicating that.
But I hope they do, because I want to see that sort of stuff everywhere we go, because I think it's great.
Yeah.
Tottenham had a decent effort the other day, I see.
Super League Tottenham. So it is a great thing to be part of, I must admit, and I just hope we do get as many people involved as possible, because then there has to be a next generation, because I do want it to continue forever. You know, not everyone can contribute as much time as what we do right now. If we continue to do the amount of put the amount of time in that we are right now, it's probably not sustainable across the season, because it does eat into your life. Like,
I'll tell you what, mate, I'll be there for the first Champions League game.
Can't wait
Thanks.
for that display.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
You want to be in the centre circle waving the one in the middle, the big ball,
All of
the
us.
Champions League logo.
Do it as soon
I want
as.
to be on the flag in the middle. Just up and down. A couple of mentions there saying any watch-alongs with the Arsenal match, which is on Saturday. It's an early kickoff on Saturday, isn't it?
I wish I could.
To be fair, we put so much time into this. A lot of us work weekends. So we normally dedicate the weekends that we're not working to going to the Newcastle United games. So there's not many with that can really do it. So I'm sure things will change in the future at some point. If you become a member, then we might be able to quit our jobs.
Yes, thanks for that. That'll be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that.
I've got a question for you now, actually.
All right. Okay.
Liverpool away. All right. Come on.
So I thought I had the Thursday off, got the Tuesday off, but I should be able to change it for the Thursday.
So you'll go.
Oh,
I'm driving, so you're laughing.
Yeah. So I should be able to go.
Yes, there you go. Just want to try and put him under pressure, when we're here.
So Thomas mentioned people waving flags and how people waving flags. There's been a lot of shouts for this. And Decker, you're the only one that can tell with this story.
Okay.
And Mark chokeslammed somebody on Saturday.
Well, there's also another witness, but yeah, I'll
I forgot you saw it as well.
I didn't know he had actually.
So Thomas saw it from a distance and didn't realize it was Mark absolutely cane chokeslamming people until afterwards. Decker, tell the story, mate.
So
we'll end it on this.
Yes. So obviously, the War Flags display had finished and everyone had put the flags down. The certain the black and white ones, were like on the floor. And then some lad, like impressive hair and that, he had like lots of quiff going on. And he like came down the stairs and just picked one up. Just decided to pick one up, and this was mid-game. It was like maybe I just scored, so it was about 8 minutes into the. Actually, no, them had just scored, and then
he's waving the flag
after, and he came down. He was obviously trying to get the atmosphere going. He was waving it around, jumping around, and nobody had a problem at first because we're like, then it went
Heart's in the right place.
Yeah, but then when it's like 30 seconds a minute, 2 minutes, a long time to be standing there waving the flag. Then Mark started giving him, yeah man, like shouting, he's like, and the guy was taking no notice at all. I don't think he heard him, if I'm being quite honest.
Just for people that don't know where we sit. You've got the barrier, then you've got the walkway. That's at the front of the Gallowgate.
Yeah. So he was literally there, and the flag was just in. Well, it wasn't in my face; it was just in Mark's, which I thought was really funny. And Mark was just getting louder and louder and louder, and the kid was getting more and more wavy and jumping around. And then the lunge came where Mark just jumped up. It was brilliant, and he grabbed him by like the hood of his jacket or like the back of his collar, and just started throwing him around like a paper bag. And the kid went berserk. But Mark didn't care. Mark sort of went, yeah, man, I'll just knock you out.
Mark's a big lad.
He's a big lad. So then this other kid come over with a Stone Island jacket on, ran over. But in fairness, he was trying to say to his mate, no, come on, you out of order there. And at that point, the other lad looked like he was going to have a go at Mark even more, trying to. Mark was like, he was going mental with him. But then after, I think it was the third goal when Saints scored, the same kid ran down the stairs and then came to Mark, and I thought, this is it. He's going to chin him here. And then he went, I'm really sorry, mate. I love you. And they were hugging for ages. And I thought, it was a really nice moment. That was lovely. But honestly, he was ragging him round like rotten. But you didn't obviously think it was Mark. I didn't know it was Mark.
I didn't at the time.
Yeah,
it was only when I walked back down and I saw Mark. It was at half time.
Yeah.
I saw him sat. I was like, it was Mark.
Just some big ball lad.
But I know the lad who did it now, Jamie. He's a good lad. Like he is. He's one of the more vocal ones at the back. At the back of the strawberry corner. Like,
it was lovely when he came down and apologised. It is what it is, right? You had it. It was.
He just got a little bit overzealous with a flag.
Yeah, it was that
fine. Bit's raised though, isn't it? The walkway in front.
It's horrible.
Because the rest of the Gallowgate, because you walk up some stairs or something. Don't you?
It was raised, so he was like his head. We were sitting. His head was almost level with our head. If that makes sense.
A similar level to the rest of the middle tier, it would be all right, wouldn't it?
It's horrible, mate. So where that sits, you get a lot of people that leave about 3-4 minutes before full time, and they're just standing that little walkway.
I see a lot of them kneel down, don't they?
Mate, every single week, Mark shouting at them. Every week.
You've got a lad, young kid here, and this guy here. He loves swear words, doesn't he? He was just swearing at anyone.
He loves swear words.
Anyone that went past him.
What
that
went
was
on a stag do with him? Really? I'll tell you that story.
He was going off it with anyone that walked past. Just woof, 10 out. Aye.
People don't like when you stand in front of them when you're the ones that have sat till the end waiting for full time to come, and you see those people sneaking out and trying to like hover and watch the rest of it. Sit in your seat. Don't stand in front of my seat.
You'll be against safe standing, won't you?
No, I don't mind if I'm stood as well, mate. But then it's just a knock-on effect for everybody, isn't it? Right, that's us done, boys. Anything else that anybody wants to add before we wrap it up?
I just think that it sounded positive tonight, and I think the future does look good.
Are we going down?
Yes. But I do. Yes, I do. Yeah, I'm sorry. But it is on
a negative, thanks to you, Thomas.
I know. I didn't want to. I was about to say it.
I was dying to know.
Yeah, I do. I think we're down.
I think
I'm going to be positive.
You think, right?
I'm worried, but I think we've got enough.
I'm concerned, but
It's all on the Norwich and Burnley games. If we don't win those two, we're screwed.
I think so as well.
We've just left ourselves too much to do. I think
Yeah.
we're running out of winnable games. It feels.
yeah.
There's a
I'd
lot
like to
of
be
goal,
optimistic because after the first 10 days of him being in shot, we saw a massive difference, and I think we will win a lot more games now.
Yeah.
I'm just.
We need to win 10 or 12.
It's hard not to be worried when you may be going into December winless.
That's how I feel. Exactly like that. Yeah.
Like how many teams come back from that?
I think this is a whole podcast in itself, maybe for a depressing episode.
No, I'm positively
I'm Roger, lad.
energized.
I'm with you, mate.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
with you. I'm excited for the
We've got-
future. Despite what happens, I'm excited for the
It was
future.
probably only the Norwich result on Saturday that put a damper on it.
It was the other
Yeah.
results. It was the other results.
Just about Tottenham showed up in the end.
Oh,
because
yeah.
Leeds are winning now. I was like,
Because without hope, you've got nothing.
Exactly, mate.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Hope.
Thanks everybody for watching us tonight. Thanks everybody who is listening to the audio back over. It's been a pleasure tonight. I've really enjoyed this one
I have
tonight.
as well. It's been great.
It's probably because Mark's not here.
Well, most definitely.
Sorry, Mark. I love you, really, mate. I love you.
Yeah, we do.
Where is he?
I don't know. I think he's away with work. I might be lying.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I think you're
I
right.
think he's away with work. And obviously, Bestie's not here tonight. Bestie, shout out to you, mate. I hope everything went well today. And see you all later.
Cheers.